His flashlight was dead, and the cave was silent. Then he heard it breathing. Slow, deep, right next to his ear. He froze. But the worst part, when he held his breath, the breathing didn't stop. This classic two-sentence horror story has haunted the internet for years, and for good reason. It taps into our most primal fears, the dark, confined spaces, and the unknown presence lurking just beyond our senses. Today, we're going to dive deep into the psychology behind this terrifying tale and explore why it sends such a powerful shiver down our spines. So, grab your flashlight, make sure it has fresh batteries, and let's get started. The story's power begins with its setting, a cave. Caves are inherently unsettling. They represent a journey into the earth, a place far removed from the safety of the sunlit world. Geologically, they are voids, gaps in the solid structure of our planet. Psychologically, they trigger claustrophobia, the fear of having no escape. When you're in a cave, you're not just surrounded by a rock, you're enveloped by it. Your exits are limited, often just one way in and one way out. This immediately puts our protagonist, and by extension, us, in a position of extreme vulnerability. Now, add the second element, darkness. His flashlight was dead. This is a masterstroke of horror writing. Light is our primary sense for perceiving threats. Without it, we are disarmed. The darkness isn't just an absence of light, it becomes a character in itself. It's a suffocating blanket that conceals everything. Every sound is amplified, every touch is a surprise. Your imagination, desperately trying to fill in the blanks, starts to run wild. Is that the drip of water or footsteps? Is that a gust of wind or a whisper? The story forces us into a state of sensory deprivation, leaving us just as blind and helpless as the man in the cave. And then comes the sound. The cave was silent, then he heard it. Silence in a horror context is never peaceful. It's the tense, heavy silence of anticipation. It's the before. The story breaks this silence not with a roar or a scream, but with something far more intimate and unsettling: breathing. Breathing is the most fundamental sign of life. We associate it with our own existence, with the presence of other living beings. But in this context, it's terrifying. Why? Because it's not his breathing. The description is deliberate, slow, deep. This isn't the panicked, shallow breath of someone who's afraid. It's calm, steady, and controlled. This implies the source of the breathing is not scared. It's patient. It's confident. It might even be observing him, savoring his fear. The proximity right next to his ear is a violation of personal space on the most intimate level. It's a sound that should only be heard from someone you trust, someone you've allowed into your bubble. Here, it's an invasion by an unknown entity. This is where our brain's threat detection system, the amygdala, goes into overdrive. The sound is close, it's alive, and it's not you. Every survival instinct screams that you are no longer alone, and you are in imminent danger. The protagonist's reaction is exactly what ours would be. He froze. This is the freeze part of the fight-flight or freeze response. It's an involuntary, primal reaction to overwhelming terror. Your body shuts down, hoping that by remaining perfectly still, the predator won't notice you. It's a desperate gamble for survival. But the story doesn't end there. It delivers a final, devastating twist. This is the part that elevates it from a scary story to a truly horrifying one. The worst part? When he held his breath, the breathing didn't stop. Let's break this down. In a moment of terror, holding your breath is a natural instinct. You do it to silence your own body, to listen more intently, to confirm what you think you heard. It's a moment of desperate hope. Maybe it was just my own breathing. echoing in the confined space. Maybe I'm just panicking. It's a rational check, a last-ditch effort to reclaim control over the terrifying situation. The story takes that sliver of hope and extinguishes it completely. The breathing didn't stop. This confirmation is the point of no return. It's not an echo. It's not his imagination. It is real. There is something else there with him in the pitch-black darkness, so close he can hear every single respiration. The hope for a rational explanation is gone, replaced by the certainty of a supernatural or monstrous presence. But there's an even deeper layer of horror here. By holding his breath, he has made himself completely silent, yet the sound continues. This creates a terrifying auditory illusion. For a moment, the only thing that exists in his world is the sound of this other creature's life, while his own is suspended. It highlights his own mortality. He cannot hold his breath forever. Eventually he will have to gasp for air, revealing his presence, his life, to the thing that waits beside him. The very act of survival breathing becomes the thing that will betray him. This is what's known as a paradox of horror. The protagonist's attempt to gain clarity and safety only serves to confirm his doom. He is trapped not just by the cave, but by his own biology. He must breathe to live, but his breathing is a beacon in the dark. This little story is a masterclass in psychological horror because it doesn't rely on gore or jump scares. It preys on what we cannot see, what we cannot explain, and what we cannot escape. It uses our own imagination against us. We never find out what the creature is. Is it a monster, a ghost? Another person who has gone feral in the dark? The story never says, and that's why it's so effective. Our minds will always conjure something far more terrifying than any description could provide. It's a personal horror, tailored by our own deepest fears. Think about it. The fear of the unseen is a powerful evolutionary trait. Our ancestors, who were wary of the rustling in the bushes at night, were more likely to survive than those who weren't. This story hacks directly into that ancient survival circuit. Furthermore, it plays on the horror of the doppelganger, or the double. The sound of breathing is so fundamentally us that hearing it mirrored by an unseen other feels like a perversion of our own identity. It's as if a dark reflection of ourselves is right there, sharing our space, our air. This is profoundly disturbing on a subconscious level. The story's structure is also brilliant. It's a perfect crescendo of fear. 1. The setting is established. Cave, dead flashlight. We feel the isolation and the darkness. 2. The threat is introduced. The breathing. We feel the immediate danger. 3. The hope is introduced and then crushed. He holds his breath, but the sound continues. We feel the utter despair and certainty of doom. It leaves us with a chilling, unanswered question: what happens next? The story ends at the absolute peak of terror, forcing us to imagine the inevitable, horrifying conclusion. Does he scream? Does he run blindly into the dark only to fall or smash into a wall? Or does he just wait paralyzed for the breathing to stop, or for something worse to begin? That's the dark genius of this tale. It's not just a story you read, it's a scenario you experience. It locks you in that cave with him, forces you to hold your breath alongside him, and makes you hear that slow, deep breathing right next to your own ear. And that is why, years after it first appeared, this simple, elegant piece of horror continues to be so incredibly effective. It reminds us that sometimes the most terrifying things are not what we see, but what we hear in the suffocating silence of the dark. What do you think makes this story so scary? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy exploring the psychology behind fear, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the things that go bump in the night. Thanks for watching.